Hello, everyone. It's been 3 months since I've had my surgery. That's what the scar looks like right now. My neck is feeling alright. Got some cramping going on right now. I've had it for the last couple of days. It was enough to mess up my trying to sleep last night. Trying to lay my head on the pillow was pretty sore. It's on the right side of my spine a little bit, and on the left side it's hurting quite a bit more, from pretty high up to about here down into my shoulders. But I go see the surgeon. I've been seeing the surgeon's physician's assistant, which he's pretty knowledgeable. Been seeing him since my operation. Now I go see the surgeon in a week and a half, 2 weeks, and I will see about what I go from that point. It will be 3 months out, or 3.5 months out, because I talked to the physician's assistant, who is the caseworker for the L&I. You have to have one of those if it's an L&I claim. And they don't know a lot about anything. They just pretty much know, whatever they know. Not much. But anyway, he was telling me, I seen him a couple days ago, and he's telling me that, well, after I see the surgeon, come back and see him, and he'll figure out if they're going to tell them that it's time for me to go back to work or whatever. I've always done physical labor. I grew up on a farm all my life. I've done physical labor, and they said I could be retrained, where they would pay for some of it. I guess they have like $8,000 to put towards my retraining. I don't have an AA, so I could go in and get an AA, which would take 2+ years, because I'd have to take prerequisite classes just to get into college, because I haven't been in school for 30+ years. Long time. And then $8,000 wouldn't even pay for a year of college, so I'd end up with a year and a half, maybe even 2 years that would be out of my pocket. And I don't know how much they would pay for my L&I, payments I get for being off work. It's just like 60% of my wages that I was making, so it's a pretty big hit. And I've been off for a year this time, and then over a year after so it's been coming up on almost 2.5 years since I got injured, that I've been off work, not putting money towards retirement, making a lot less money, pretty much stuck, waiting for the insurance company to do all these approvals, and finally, okay, we can, 6 months after the injury, we can do your surgery, and then this time it just kept going on and on and on. Finally just approved it in or December. Then I had it in February or January. Wait, I can get my days all, or months straight. Had it in the middle of January. So it's now the middle of April. So it's been 3 months, so 3.5 months when I go see the surgeon again. So, and then the physician's assistant at the little clinic here, he's like, well, as soon as you see him, we can just see if you're ready to go back to work or go do your training or whatever. And I said, well, none of those are going to work, because I'd end up with a big bill in my own pocket. In an AA in this area, you're going to get a minimum wage job. An AA doesn't do you any good anymore. It does nothing. Especially for someone like me who's, over 50 years old, and I've worked physical labor jobs all my life. So I'm kind of screwed. They got the CDL course out here. I already have a CDL, but right after I got back from the Army. And I really don't have experience on a Class A semi-rig, so that's why I want to do the CDL course out here, so I can get the training on driving a big truck and all the new stuff and all the new regulations and everything that goes along with it. So that was what I was thinking. I was talking to the physician's assistant, and he goes, well, a lot of times after you've had this kind of surgery, that you're limited to 35, 40 pounds for the rest of your life. And he goes, so I don't think the truck driving thing would be, I would have to actually look for a job that, or I'm just dropping off a trailer and picking up another trailer and not doing any unloading or anything like that. And he goes, but then you have to put on chains in the winter and you have to, jack that trailer up and down, which if you got the trailer jacks are not very good or bad, you're cranking some pretty heavy weight. So he's like, that's not an option. But then he agreed with me on the AA, and all that other stuff wouldn't be an option either. Because by the time I'd be done, I'd be 53, 54 years old. And then a minimum wage job would never pay off my debt. So, and he goes, what he thinks is they pay for like 9 months of your wages. So 9 months might get me through for my prerequisites. So I'd have another 2 years just to get the AA. So this retraining stuff is kind of a joke, unless it's something you can, it's less than $8,000 and it can be done pretty quick. And that's why I'm saying that's what the CDL thing is. So I don't know. Got one of those patches on my neck again because without being able to sleep last night very well with the pain and stuff. And it doesn't have any of the THC in it. It's just the CBD oil, the painkiller part of the marijuana. Now, they got some rub that I used, some cream that worked pretty good, and it had 1 or 2 milligrams of the THC in it. Not enough to, to get you any type of high feeling or even notice it's, got any of that part of it in there. But doing any CDL course or anything like that, you're drug tested, and what you can get away with on driving a motor vehicle if you're pulled over by the police and tested, you can't even get nothing for anything to do with CDL or truck driving. The tiniest little bit and you're in trouble. So can't use any of those creams. So, I don't know. I'm kind of stuck in limbo right now. It's not a good feeling, not knowing what's going to happen. They're telling me I'm too young to be put on any type of permanent disability, but I'm too injured to go back to my regular work that I've done all my life. But then to get any training to do anything else would end up putting a bunch of money in my, or give me put me in a big debt. So, I don't know. I'm kind of stuck. If I'm limited to certain pounds for the rest of my life and can't go back to heavy lifting or physical labor type jobs, and can't get an office job or something like that without going to college and getting some kind of training, and then end up getting in big time debt and then getting a minimum wage office job or something. It's just I don't know. It's all a stinking joke. It's kind of crazy you can be laid off for being injured on a job, but that's what happens when you work in one of these western states over here. We won't bring up any political stuff, but same people that say they're for the worker and not the big business. Well, that's not true, because all you have to do is check their L&I laws. Or yeah, you can be laid off for anything. So I don't know. At least I got a good letter of recommendation from my job and my many years of exemplary service. Exemplary service, goodbye, you're out on the street. So just remember that, people. If your business or the job you work for has a private insurance company acts as their L&I insurance, it's not a good thing. Not a good thing at all. because it's worse than the state. People think the state insurance L&I is bad. These private L&Is are worse. So that's why a lot of these companies and businesses that actually use those insurance companies are out of other states. They're not even out of your state. There's a reason they do that. So anyway, it's not for the employee. No matter what the politicians say, they're not for the employees. They're not for the worker. They're for the top, or they're for the dollar that lines their pocket. So anyway, yeah, as you notice, I'm kind of in a frustrated situation right now. I have no idea what I'm going to do. I'm kind of stuck. Being over 50 years old and pretty much getting all told I might not be able to do this, won't be able to do that, won't be able to do this, but then you're going to have to go find a job and blah, blah, blah. And it's like you go from a nice paying job to looking at ending up on a minimum wage because you get injured on the job after 20 years. It's like you'd think there'd be some kind of loyalty, but there's not. None. And I had a public job working for the government. None. So don't think your politicians that sit there and preach when they're up there, vote for me because I'm for the people. The other guys are for the rich man. Don't believe it. All right, everyone. So let's go back to my neck. My neck's doing good, except, for the cramping. And I can turn it pretty good. I'm getting some popping, crackling when I turn it. But I'm still, like I said, 3 months out, and they're still got me at the 10, 20 pounds maximum weight. We'll see what the surgeon says. Make another video right after I see the surgeon. He might, say, okay, yeah, you are ready to go back to work, whatever. I'll ask him about the limitations, if I'm going to be on like the 35-pound limitation like the physician's assistant here in the clinic said in town. I don't know. We'll see. Don't know what I am going to do. So anyway, hope everybody else is having a good day. I will see y'all later.